Welcome to Tackle and Tactics episode 1. While doing vlogs, people also started approaching me with questions about the tackle I'm using or rigs they saw in my vlogs. I figured I'd create a new category, this Tackle and Tactics here, where I try to show you how I bind, for example, rigs or what tackle I'm using. I tried the best to explain why I'm doing it and how I'm doing it. I hope you enjoy those episodes. I try to do like one at a time and name them accordingly so you can easily find them and review them later on. For today's IQ rig, I'm going to change the camera angle so we focus on what I'm doing with my hands, and just stick with me and I hope you enjoy it. Let's get started. First material that I'm using is a wide gape hook, a micro swivel and blue carbon. That one you get at Amazon. I got it in almost 50 millimeters, which is 30 pounds. It's a little bit thick, but it doesn't hurt. It holds up pretty good, that's for sure. First thing we do is, the micro swivel a little bit up here, I don't need it right now. Blue carbon, we leave it on that spool, just pull a good piece off. It doesn't matter really. And now I have the line. I create a simple loop. You see that? I don't loop it through or anything, it's not a knot, it's just a loop. A little bit tinier. So this side goes to the spool, okay? I just grab my hook and I actually lay it next to my loop with its shank. And the curve of the hook is down here. You'll see that in 1 second. See that? Here we go. I hold it like that. There's my point. And I just have it up here. So this side goes to the spool. It's very important. What you do next is go about 4 times around the hook and through the loop. And I always pull it a little bit down here again. Hold it with my fingers. Around the hook. Back through the loop. I'm sorry if I don't watch it with the camera right now. 4. So what I end up with is this. Up here again, a little bit because I watched the video. I have those 4 turns around the hook and through the loop between my fingers right now, and I go where the line goes to the spool, over here, and I just gently pull, you see that halfway, that loop down as far as I can. So, now you see that. That's what I end up with. It's almost like a knotless knot. Pretty much is. Next thing I do is grab my tongues, hold the short end, and then I pull good on both ends of that line. So it really sticks to the hook. You can make it a little bit wet. It helps just to go down and really make those turns pretty even there. If you did it right and pulled enough, and that little knot should be hard to move up and down. There we go. Put it a little bit underneath the point. And the long end goes down to the shank. To the short end, I'm gonna cut that now. Keep a little bit left, so we just cut it. I show you in a second. You see that? There's a little bit left. What I do now is grab my lighter and heat that up carefully. A bit more. So goal is to just plop that in. With your finger in the end. You probably didn't see that perfectly in the video. See that? I just burned it up a little bit and then I plopped it in with my finger. So, the long end, so it comes out here. See, there we go. So I now grab a little bit more, probably like way too much for the video, from my fluorocarbon, and I just gonna cut it. The way I cut it is in an angle. Let me go here. See that? There we go. I cut that now in an angle. What I want is pointy piece here. It should be pretty pointy, almost like the hook. Improve that a little bit. There we go. This just makes it easier in a second to go through the hook itself, through the loop on the hook. So next thing is grab the micro swivel. There we go. And put it on the line. Down to the hook. Down. For a second. So micro swivel is on the line. Grab that all. We actually simply right now go from the behind through the loop on the hook. We just create a D. Just lay it down that you see that in a second. There we go. That's our D here. It goes out here from the knot. It goes around here. Focus that better. The D we keep rather big. So what you're gonna do now is you hold the hook here again with the loop. Swivel is out here. And we just go around and make a knotless knot. I go around like 5 times right now. And then I go up 1 time. And I go again from behind. Loop on the hook. We made the, because I use pretty thick fluorocarbon, I made it pointy. It makes it easier to go through. Check again that everything looks good, and there we go. And then we pull a little bit, not too brutal. That's almost it. Almost done. What I do now normally is, because I use quick exchange swivels, first I lay the line next to each other like this. Grab that. And I just create a simple knot, but I go twice through the loop here. Pull gently on that, make it a little bit wet, so it really lays down. Now I normally use my hook pullers, because I didn't fully pull on it, I don't want to hook myself. Go on both sides, and then gently lay that line down. What I just did is, I laid that line down, pulled with even that open string there a little bit, and then I go like 15 times, a little bit pressure on it. And why I do that is pretty simple. The more you do that, the more the fluorocarbon will warm up. I put it in a second in my rig box so it stretches out even more. There you see where I like the wide gape hook. The fluorocarbon comes pretty aggressive out of the hook. The loop up here goes over there, and I still have enough space so the hook really can maneuver himself in. It's not like closed because it comes too straight out in a 90-degree angle. This is still pretty aggressive. I like it a little bit less even. You can pull a little bit more on it. Not too hard, just pull, release, pull, release to warm it up a little bit carefully so it stretches out more, or you heat it up over hot steam. The other thing is I just leave it in my rig box a little bit straightened out for a few days at least, and then it's almost perfect in my opinion. Over here you see that, the D with the micro swivel. There I normally use bait floss, and I floss on tiger nuts, corn strings, and boilies, you name it. You don't need a kick or anything, it's just perfect. You can actually move the lower knot a little bit more down, so you straighten out the D a little bit. You can also pull on the D a little bit to make it a little bit more up. In theory there's a variation where you don't make your knotless knot over the D. Instead of if you go underneath it, what makes it pretty aggressive to just go with the first 1 or 2 loops over the D and then go underneath through it. It opens it wider up, more to the top. So the other side here, I normally cut that here, plop it a little bit, but not all the way to the knot. I don't want to burn anything on my line here, because this is actually what the fish will later on pull, or I will pull with my main line. And to this loop here, this just will be looped into my quick exchange swivel, and that's about it. That's the whole secret. What I like to do too is I have those magnifying glasses. Those you get them pretty cheap everywhere. It's, in this case, I think they call them jewelry magnifying glasses. I like to control my knots, so I really go through that and then keep a little bit an eye on it to make sure they're perfect. You don't want anything on the line like really hurt or disturbed, because this could actually cause the line to break while you play the fish. So let me cut that real quick and you see that in quick. Just plop it a little bit up here. In case it really opens up, it doesn't just go through it. And there we go. That's one of my current rigs that I really favor. I'm still thinking about modifying it a little bit more, put another swivel there, but that's for me to experiment around first with, and then if I think it worked good, I'll let you guys know. What is always interesting too is, because it's a stiff rig, let's say you have some bait there, a boilie, corn, tiger nuts. What people always like to do is like pull a little bit and see if the hook actually stands up. You see that it's not, right now it's too aggressive, so it hooks too late. And it's just bend it a little bit like brutally right now. That's what I prefer to do, but I want to straighten it out a little bit. See that? It's more straight right now. It's not as aggressive. So again, you have some bait on that. You pull gently through it. You see that? Hook hooks. Again, fish picks up, blows out, goes in. And again, I can hold my hand pretty straight with that too. It always goes in. It's not a perfect indicator that this will really work perfectly, but it gives you a good idea. Always keep in mind, fish comes, sucks it in. Put the bait here. What you want is that hook actually can maneuver himself down, and when he blows it out, it will go in his underlip. That's always your perfect target there. For that you can move the D a little bit around, you can keep it variable, you can make it bigger or smaller. I just like about this big of a D, it works for me. It's personal preference. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I see that I do that again. Hopefully I get more practice with it. Thanks for watching. If you want to see something specific, let me know. And I see that I covered that.